Looks like we got a new lawsuit that's brewing in Arizona to be filed by the Arizona Attorney General and the Office of Representative-elect Adelita Grajalva against the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, because he just refuses to swear in the ministerial procedure of swearing in Adelita Grajalva, who won in a special election to replace her father to represent Arizona's 7th district and its 813,000 people. 813,000 people in Arizona are unrepresented in violation of our framers, of our founders, of the Federalist Papers. And as I've called for over the last week, it's time to file the lawsuit. I think it would be a writ of mandamus compelling the Speaker of the House during the pro forma sessions that are being held every day in Congress, even during the shutdown, to swear in Adelita Grajalva. Why isn't Mike Johnson swearing in Adelita Grajalva and making her the representative that she was elected to do? It's because she's promised that she will be the 218th signature on the discharge petition related to the Epstein files. Of course, it comes back to the Epstein files. Representatives Ro Khanna, a Democrat, Representatives Tom Massey, a Republican, have a discharge petition. It needs one more signature to get the resolution out of committee to the House floor to vote on turning over all of the Epstein files. And Representative Grajalva has already said she will proudly be the 218th vote. You're here on Legal AF on Wednesday. I'm Michael Popok, and I'm going to post here the letter from the Attorney General, Chris Mays, of Arizona to the Speaker of the House that came yesterday by email, and the threat of a lawsuit and why it matters. While you're here, hit the free subscribe button. Become a member of our Legal AF Substack community as well. How did we get here? Raul Grajalva died. That was the father. He had represented proudly Arizona's 7th for a long time. The daughter ran in a special election to replace him and won 70%. The canvassing is all done. The certificate by the governor has been transmitted to the Speaker of the House, and all that is left is a simple swearing-in ceremony. And the House Democrats are starting to pick up pitchforks. They say people are getting restless. They're picking up rocks. And this group has marched literally on Mike Johnson's office to compel him. He has this phony excuse, and I'll tell you how Chris Mays takes it on in the letter. This phony excuse, well, we're in pro forma. I would swear her in, but there's a shutdown. You've sworn in other people during pro forma sessions, including 3 or 4 others. They just happen to have R's next to their name. And we had a big march on Speaker Johnson's office with people chanting, swear her in. Let's show the clip. Now, Chris Mays, the Attorney General for the Arizona, wrote the following letter, which again, I'll post on Legal AF Substack. It says, on behalf of the state of Arizona, I demand that the Honorable Adelita Grajalva be sworn into office as the representative for Arizona's 7th Congressional District and be allowed to assume her seat without further delay. If not, I will take further action. She cites to the Federalist Papers by James Madison and Alexander Hamilton, saying that a House seat is a member of the House holds the only proportionally and directly elected position in the federal government, and it's particularly essential that the House should have an immediate dependence on and intimate sympathy with the people. In other words, there's 813,000 people in Arizona's 7th that are not currently being represented. Ms. Grajalva and the state on page 2 expected you would follow your usual practice and swear her in, just as you had done with 5 previous members elected in a special election, including a couple of them that were sworn in during this pro forma session where they keep the lights on in Congress in order to avoid there being a recess and recess appointments by the president. Particularly, Jimmy Petronis was elected by Florida's 1st District. He was sworn in during a pro forma session, as was Randy Fine of Florida's 6th District. I guess the biggest difference is they were Republicans. You and your staff, Chris Mays says to Speaker Johnson, have provided ever-shifting, unsatisfactory, and sometimes absurd stories as to why Ms. Grajalva has not been sworn in. In a particular worrisome comment, an aide connected the swearing in to the ongoing budget fight, suggesting that the House is trying Arizona's right to a full delegation and the right of the citizens of Congressional District 7 to representation are not up for debate. We thus demand that Ms. Grajalva be immediately sworn into office and admitted to her rightful seat. Otherwise, she's going to sue. Now, let me show you what Caitlin Collins got Jim Jordan all tied up in knots. They can't even keep their story straight as to why Grajalva has not been sworn in. Here is Caitlin Collins wrapping Jim Jordan around his own axle. Let's play the clip.
Of House Republicans. You're here on Capitol Hill tonight. A lot of your colleagues are not because you're not in session. And Speaker Johnson has said he's not bringing y'all back until there's an agreement to reopen the government. Is it clear to you why Speaker Johnson has not sworn in the new member, Adelita Grajalva, yet?
Because we're not in session. It's typically done when we're all there. It's a special thing. The individual the new member gives a speech in front of Congress, sworn in by the Speaker of the House, introduced by colleagues from their delegation. That's how I've been here 19 years. It's always been done that way. So that's nothing out of the ordinary. The reason we're not here is because we've done our work. We've passed the bill that funds the government again at the levels Chuck Schumer agreed to, and now he won't support it because this debate is Chuck Schumer can pick common sense or he can pick the left and AOC. And right now he's picking the left and AOC after he picked common sense 6 months ago. Plain and simple, and I think the American people understand that.
So you're saying because it's a pro forma session, that's why?
Yeah, because there's two people on the floor, or whatever. But normally it's done in front of the full House. That new member in a special election gets, I think, in some ways, a kind of a neat experience where they get to talk to the House their first day getting sworn in, and that's happened every single time that I can recall with any new member elected in a special in the middle of a congressional session.
But a couple months ago, he swore in Jimmy Petronis and Randy Fine in a pro forma session.
I actually didn't even know that when they were sworn in, but I always remember when it happens, the delegation's up front and that person is sworn in.
Do you think it has anything to do with the discharge petition and that she could be the 218th signature for the Jeffrey Epstein files?
I think it's to make the clear point, we have voted to fund the government at levels all the Democrats supported, and they now won't support it because they're bringing up an issue that frankly was not even part of the campaign last year. I don't remember anyone saying, oh my goodness, we got to deal with the enhanced premium tax credit in Obamacare, and if we don't, it wasn't even part of the campaign last year.
This is, again, another example of how the Epstein scandal is warping all that Donald Trump and ultimately Congress is doing, because they won't release the files, because Donald Trump has ordered them not to release the files. We can presume that the files are not good for Donald Trump, that they're terrible for Donald Trump. That is a reasonable assumption and a presumption and a inference that you would draw if you were in court. The judge would order you as a jury to draw the inference that if somebody is hiding documents, they are bad documents for that person. It's logical. This is all about the Epstein affair. They don't want to release them. If they did, they would just release the files. We wouldn't be talking about a discharge petition and Representative Grajalva's signature to make 218 to get the Epstein files. We wouldn't be talking about that at all. But you see how Donald Trump's perversity warps his policies. When you can't figure out why something's being done, it usually ties back to the Epstein scandal, Donald Trump's hell-bent on vengeance against his enemies, or money. You're scratching your head like, why did he issue that executive order? Why did Trump just enter into that deal with that country over that issue? What's happening? Money and or vengeance and retribution and or the Epstein scandal explains it all, at least 90% of it. And we'll continue to shine a light on it right here on Legal AF. You're here on Legal AF on Wednesday. Got a great day of programming scheduled for you. Right now up is the live, soon to be recorded, Supreme Court oral argument about whether Black people and brown people in America are going to have voting rights or not. I mean, I don't mean to I don't mean to put too fine a point on it, but that's what's up for grabs at this oral argument in a case called Calais in Louisiana. You'll need to listen to it, and I'll do some updates throughout the day here and on Substack Live for you as well. So until my next report, hit the subscribe button here, slide over to the Substack. That's where we're doing some quality work that you need to know about. Join us there. If you find it interesting, give us a thumbs up by becoming a paid member, $7, $8 a month. That's it. And I'll overwhelm you with amazing content, I promise you. So until my next report, I'm Michael Popok. I'm Michael Popok, and I got some big news for our audience. Most of you know me as the co-founder of Midas Touch's Legal AF and the Legal AF YouTube channel, or as a 35-year national trial lawyer. Now, building on what we started together on Legal AF, I've launched a new law firm, the Popok Firm, dedicated to obtaining justice through compassionate and zealous legal representation. At the Popok Firm, we are focused on obtaining justice for those who have been injured or damaged by a life-altering event by securing the highest dollar recoveries. I've been tirelessly fighting for justice for the last 35 years, so my own law firm organically building on my Legal AF work just feels right. And I've handpicked a team of top-tier trial fighters and settlement experts throughout all 50 states known as big auto injury attorneys who have the know-how to beat heartless insurance companies, corporations, government entities, and their attorneys. Big Auto's attorneys working with my firm are rock stars in their respective states and collectively responsible for billions of dollars in recoveries. So if you or a loved one have been on the wrong side of a catastrophic auto, motor vehicle, rideshare, or truck accident, suffered a personal injury, or been the victim of medical malpractice, employment harassment or discrimination, or suffered a violation of your civil and constitutional rights, then contact the Popok Firm today at 1-877-POPOK-AF or by visiting my website at www.thepopokfirm.com and fill out a free case evaluation form. And if we determine that you have a case and you sign with us, we don't get paid unless you do. The Popok Firm, fighting for your justice every step of the way.